Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 8 of Masters in the Universe Revelation. Last time we basically had to resolve the entire thing with Savage He-Man, as I have come to calling him. Savage He-Man or Cave He-Man or whatever you want to call him. Savage He-Man sounds cool, so I'm going with that. We had to resolve the issue with him, figuring out how to get him to turn back because, without the Sword of Power, Adam doesn't have any control over it. And eventually it ended up working as he attacked this encampment that ended up being led by his father, the king. And so they got to reconcile. His father apologized for everything, and it worked. It worked. It allowed Adam to turn back. And so, yeah, now we just continue on, I guess. Evelyn is questioning her allegiance to Skeletor, not because she thinks he's too evil or she wants to be a good guy, but because she just wants to be out of his control, out of his grasp. She wants to be her own bad guy, basically. And it's like, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. But now we have to continue to build up our plans and forces to face Skeletor in order to even have a chance to restore Eternia. I guess we'll see. After this episode, there's only 2 more. There's only the finale, and we will be doing those 2 together. So, after we finish this episode and go into the afterthoughts, we will, in the afterthoughts, we will be starting the poll. We're going to start the poll, and then we're going to announce the winner with the next episode reaction. And the winner of the poll will replace this right away. So yeah. Although it probably won't take that long for us to get a winner, to get a solid winner, because, with our channel, our channel size and everything at the moment, polls tend to stagnate after only maybe a couple days. So it's like, yeah. But still, either way, in the meantime, let's just get this going and hope for the best. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow a link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then it fades back in. Everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Ow, ow. Jesus. Sorry, I had to try and slap the horny out of myself. Because, Jesus fuck. If anyone is somehow new to the channel, at this point, and, hasn't watched, my previous reactions to this series, because I know I've mentioned it previously in this series. And I've mentioned it previously on the channel before as well. I make it no secret that I am very attracted to buff women, to muscular women. It is very much a turn on to me. And so, I already found Evelyn to be pretty hot. But goddamn. I almost don't want to say anything because I feel like anything I would say regarding my thoughts on her new look would be so fucking horny that it would be really, like, a little much. Um, I'll just I'll just say one horny thing. I'll say one horny thing and leave it at that. And then I'll talk about like the actual like what's going on and everything with this. I'll say one horny thing about her new look. Okay, okay. My flagpole is at full mast. There you go. Mm. Ow. Why do I keep doing that? It actually does hurt. Ow. Probably a good thing though. That's probably what I want. Anyway, anyway, anyway. Really, kind of two sides to this episode. We have the bad guy side and we have the good guy side. On the good guy side, Adam continues to reconnect with his father, and Andor, I think his name is. He welcomes back and thanks the different people who helped Adam get back and get here. And meeting, wow, my mind is completely blanking here for a second. Hold on, my mind is like so focused on the horny that I can't think. Like, I'm not even kidding you here. Andra. Andra. I knew it began with an A. Andra. Andra is someone he's never met before because Tila met her after she had left the castle and everything. So he's like, "Oh, who is this?" And she's like, "Oh, she's my friend." Or I think actually Andra said she's Tila's friend. But either way, Tila's like, "She's invaluable. We wouldn't have gotten here without her." And he's like, "I'm a king. I can give you whatever you want. What do you want? Just tell me." And she's like, "Well, I've always kind of wanted a family, and I have that now, so I don't really need anything." And he's like, "Well, civilians can't stay here, so I'm just gonna make you a lieutenant." And she's like, "Oh, sure, why? Yeah." And it's like that was just really cute. It was just a cute scene. Like Andra's cute, like she's genuinely cute, and also I still ship the shit out of her with Tila, like her like calling each other a friend. It's like no. I see more there than that. But yeah, it's like that was a cute interaction, and then the queen comes, reunites with Adam, and we find out that she and Andor are not on the best terms anymore. Their marriage kind of fell apart after Adam's death, and yeah, she doesn't blame him. She doesn't blame his death for doing it. She just feels like it was just kind of the catalyst that caused their issues to come to light. And now they just have to plan for the future, basically. Meanwhile, Evelyn and Skeletor are looking into the void of space and time and existence. Skeletor's rock hard about it. For some reason, I don't understand why anyone would be so excited about that. It's like I'm kind of more on the side of Evelyn there, and not just because I'm rock hard for her. Okay, I guess I said one horny thing. I need to stop. Um, um, where was I? Oh yeah. I'm kind of on her side because like that kind of shit like freaks me out, to be honest. Like space is very empty. It's very empty. Like the distance between planets is immense, but also like the distance between like galaxies and shit. It's like space is exceptionally empty. People don't realize that because from our perspective, like when you see stars in the sky, they look like they're close together. They're not. Not by any means. And it's like it's just because of distance and whatnot that creates kind of that illusion, you could say. Um, which is really interesting from like a scientific and just knowledge standpoint. But at the same time, it's like, it's also terrifying as fuck. So I'm kind of with Evelyn on the fact that this like genuinely scared the shit out of her and just like made her feel entirely worthless. Now, I think the entire thing about like getting super depressed and feeling like you're worthless and pointless and nothing matters, I believe me, I've been there. I know what that feels like. I also don't like feeling that way, so it's like um I try not to. Like I know that seems simple, but I try not to feel that way. And that means like even thinking about stuff like that, I think like no, my life does have meaning. I'm a living, thinking, um, sentient person. Therefore, I must have meaning in my life, even if I am minuscule to the size of the universe. Like my worth is found in myself and in the others who value me. I don't put my worth compared to the universe because then I'm just going to be depressed all the time and probably like sleep myself into death or something. So I'm not going to do that. But I understand Evelyn's view on that. I understand why that fucked her up so bad. And yeah, it makes sense. But we also get her backstory. We found out that she came from a really poor family. Like, not just poverty level, but the very bottom of poverty level. To the point where her parents were so hungry that they were willing to literally kill and eat her just to survive. They were driven mad by hunger. The worst part is that shit like this has definitely happened in real life. I've heard stories of things like this happening, and it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. And these situations are just unfortunately perpetuated by just the gap in social standing that we have in the world, especially in America. Like the wealth gap is so ridiculously disgusting, and it causes a lot of death. People think that the wealth gap is just like, oh, that poor people are suffering. It's like they're dying from lack of food, lack of health care. They can't survive because of this wealth gap. Because there are literal fucking billionaires hoarding wealth like fucking dragons, while people are literally dying on the streets, in homeless shelters, and so on and so forth, because they can't afford to eat. And it's absolute fucking bullshit. It's my view has always been this, and I've seen this posted around social media as well, so you might have seen like posts saying the same thing. But if the absence of something, if you cannot live without something, if something's absence will cause your absence of life, it should not be monetized. You should not have to pay for anything that, with the absence of, would kill you. That means food, water, that kind of stuff should not be paid for. And I don't think like necessarily all food should just be all free. Like steaks are a bit much, obviously, but you should at least have like a certain amount of food or a certain like type of food that is free. You know, to some degree. You should be given the bare basics to survive on, and anything else past that is luxury. It is specialty stuff that you would purchase. But you should be able to have at least enough to survive. And you should definitely not pay for water. The fact that you have to pay water bills and shit is fucking disgusting. It's absolutely fucking disgusting. And especially as much as you have to pay for those, at least here in America. But I'm getting way off track here. I'm ranting. I'm ranting about shit. We see that Lynn managed to escape her parents. Who knows what happened to them? We just don't fucking know. She managed to escape her parents, and lived for the next 20 years in the gutters. She lived in the gutters and somehow, like, aged exceptionally well and became super beautiful and hot, despite, literally living in filth. And she got by pickpocketing people. One day she was cornered by some people she pickpocketed, and they managed to chase her down. And she was only saved when Skeletor came literally out of nowhere, zapped them, and took her back with him for some reason. I don't know why he did that, or how he knew she was there, or if he even did know she was there. Who knows what was, like, behind that skull. He was just there. I don't know. But he took her back, and, he raised her to become Evil Lynn. He took the anger, the desperation, the fear that she already had, and magnified it, but turned it into hate and evil intent. And mind you, this does not necessarily mean that she will be redeemed in the end. I know a lot of people are going to try to use this like, oh, this is like evidence that she'll be redeemed. It's like, not necessarily. Like, could it be? Sure. But not necessarily. This just shows that she had a tragic backstory. There are a lot of villains who have tragic backstories who aren't redeemed. There are a lot of villains who become so evil or become so corrupted that they can't, like, come back from that. I think one of the best examples would be from Batman Mask of the Phantasm. If you've somehow not seen that movie, I won't spoil it, but I won't spoil the details, at least. But I will say that the villain became so lost in that kind of rage and hate and negativity that there was no way for them to come back. Even when it seemed logical to do so, it's like they were lost in that, and there was no way to fix it. And that happens in real life too. People get corrupted by greed and money and just positions of power and shit. They fall into that trap, and they're never able to get out of it because they grow comfortable in it. It becomes their life. So, yeah. It's just, a lot of people have kind of this thought, I feel, that it's easy to ignore those temptations when it's not. And once you're caught up in them, it's really hard to, like, give them up. But either way, so we see that with some help from Beastman, who she even acknowledges is kind of her only friend, Evelyn finally stands up to Skeletor, but in a very clever way. She goes to him and is like, while I enjoy our fights, there's something I love more. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And he's like, oh, you want to fuck? Does Skeleton have a boner? obvious pun aside, does he? Does I assume? I guess he has a dick, but it's like I don't know. Maybe it's the skull, but it's really fucking weird to think of him having a dick. Oh God, there's definitely fan art of that. There is definitely fan art of that. Oh God, my curiosity is getting the better of me. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I guess he has to. I mean, it's very heavily implied that they fucked before. Um, Kind of to the same degree that it's very heavily implied in like Batman the Animated Series that Joker and Harley Quinn have fucked. It's like it doesn't really keep it a secret. It's basically there without actually directly saying it. Um, but she like gets him in the chair, mounts him straight up, and it's like kisses his teeth. That's still weird to me. Um, but then she takes the sword from him, and it's like we're done playing this game because she managed to convince him to power down, and he's stupid enough to have fallen for that. So she gets the sword, and she's like, "I'm scared of what I saw there, of what I saw in that void. It's like I need this power, so I won't be scared anymore." And so she takes the power now. She pulls the same stunt he did, and becomes mommy. Like, my God. She gonna make me act up. Like, Jesus, fuck. Oh. Okay, she basically, confronts all of Eternia, destroys heaven, and kills everyone within it. And basically is just like, we're all fucked. Let's make this more interesting. Let's embrace chaos. And so they're like, okay, we gotta do something about this. This is not okay. And then all of a sudden, oh, Skeletor's here. And he's like, are you gonna invite me in? So we can talk? And it's like, okay. I had been saying that she was probably gonna help them get rid of Skeletor and then become her own villain after. It seems like it's going the opposite route. Skeletor is going to have to help them get rid of her. That's interesting. That's a twist I actually didn't see coming. Um, okay. Sure. I don't see how this is going to work, but sure. Not that I don't see how they could defeat her. I don't see how they can trust Skeletor to work with them, even if he has some knowledge and helpfulness that will be good here. It's like I don't see how anything would work there with them trusting him and everything. He's like, it's like how. I don't understand. I genuinely do not understand. But we'll see. I guess we have 2 more episodes. And like I said, we're going to do them together. So it is time to reveal the poll. Let me bring up my info here. Even though I know what it's going to be, but I just want to have the info just to be safe. It's a me thing, okay? It's probably my autism or some shit. Okay, so we're going to be doing an idea that was actually given to me. We have had 2 shoals. We have had 2 shoals. No, we have had 2 shows on this poll for quite a while that have not been picked. Every time something else is put on the poll, it's picked, and they are left standing there, just twiddling their thumbs, waiting for their turn. And so the idea was thrown to me. It's like, okay, why don't we do a poll with just those 2 shows, and then come back to doing 3 shows with the next poll after that. I don't remember who suggested it, but I actually think it's a good idea. Just to get at least one of those shows taken care of. Just to get at least one of those shows off the poll, you know what I mean? So this is going to be a rare poll where we only have 2 options. So it's going to be maybe pretty split, or maybe it's still going to lean more towards one option than the other. I don't know. But the 2 options have been on the polls already. But just as a reminder, just as a refresher, the first one is Hellbound. Hellbound is, I believe, Korean. It is live action, and it's, from what I've gathered, a demon-based series. Demons invade Earth and shit, and that's all I know. And our second option is Trece. Trece is an animated series, and I believe it's Filipino. I might be wrong about that. I might be wrong. I apologize if I am. But I believe it is, and I already know that there is on Netflix, both of these are on Netflix, by the way, that there is an option for the original language that you can listen into the, instead of like English or whatnot, and we'd probably be going with that. Just saying right off the bat. Just to kind of get, I guess, a more authentic experience. All I know about Triste is that there's like this female main character, and that's pretty much it. Like, I don't know like anything about the story at all. I've seen very little screenshots, and all of them are just of the one character, so I don't have any context for anything. But those are the 2 options, Hellbound and Triste. And they're both on Netflix, so it's going to be easy to get to them either way. But yeah, the poll will open up like right around the same time as this video, so you can go to the community, that's the word I'm looking for, community section of the channel page, and find the poll there and vote on it. Votes will be open pretty much until we get to the finale 9 and 10 reaction for this series, which will probably be early. No, it can't be next week. That's a little wrench in the plans. It'll be open for a couple days, and I'll probably be able to make at least a small announcement video. Because I can at least make an announcement video next week, even if I don't at the beginning of next week, because I'm just not recording any more reactions. Like, next week is just movies and that's it. I'm not recording any other reactions. But an announcement video, that's a different story. I could still do that. Okay, so that's probably what I'll do. So the poll will basically run throughout the weekend. And on Monday, I'll make an announcement video to announce what will replace Masters of the Universe once we finish it. And so, yeah, that's how it's going to go. Again, your choices are Hellbound and Trece. The poll will be up around the same time as this video, so you should be able to go right to the community tab and, yeah, get that taken care of. If you go, like, right, by the time you're at this point in the video, it will be up. But by the time you get to the end of these afterthoughts, it will be up. So, yeah. But either way, thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm going to go splash my face with cold water because I am still feeling shit right now for Evelyn. My God. I am not okay. But I am Connie, and I am signing off. See y'all next time.